e-commerce. Okay, let's see what's here. Smart buildings are defined as computer controlled buildings where things like lighting, heating, security, etc. are completely automatic, and the adjective smart can be used for anything that is fully automatic. We know this because we all have smart phones, and there are smart watches and many other smart things. We are already in the era of smart equipment, of smart technologies. Virtual reality, the definition they provide is computer generated experiences that feel like the real thing. The adjective virtual can be used for any experience you can have without leaving your computer. Virtual university. What a what an idea. We are now experiencing virtual university, a virtual supermarket. There are many virtual supermarkets and many virtual shops already. Interactive TV. I believe we discussed once, and it was very recently. We discussed the very word interactive, meaning something that requires a response. It's a two-way traffic of information. So, interactive TV, according to this definition here, is a TV set where you can choose exactly what to watch and when, which can also be used as a computer for the internet. Okay, we can have interactive videos. We discussed some interactive websites last time. Interplanetary travel, travel to planets in outer space. E commerce, doing business via the internet. Okay, now out of these five concepts, which are already happening, which of these five, from these five, are already happening? All but interplanetary travel. Okay, we don't have fully smart buildings, but many buildings have features of a smart building. Like, for example, don't know about the place where you live, but in the building where I live, uh, lighting in the halls and at the staircases is not lit by a touch. You just, there are movement sensors, and when you enter the entrance, the lightning goes on, and when you pass, a few seconds after you've passed the lamp, the lightning goes off. And this is a feature of the smart building. Okay, now in the same handout there is something more. There is a little text about certain changes that we can that some people predict can happen concerning the environment and nature. Who would like to read this text? There are a lot of useful words in it. Who would like to read it? Hmm? Yes, you can. Anybody who wishes. Mm-hmm. Jeans. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Therapy. Gene therapy. Genome. The human genome. Mhm. Okay, thank you. We've got here a number of uh, terms, let's say, a number of expressions and words that are associated with the possible changes in the future. Now, do you know what is doomsday scenario? What is doomsday scenario? And what doomsday scenarios can you think of? This is the worst case scenario. But doomsday scenario, what is doomsday? Doomsday is the end of the world. So a doomsday scenario is a scenario for the end of the world, how the world is going to come to an end. So what doomsday scenarios do you know of? There have been many books and especially films about the doomsday. Uh-huh. The Maya concept. They're called the Maya people. Yep. A virus, a deadly pandemic turned w- coronavirus being only one of the possibilities, yes. But yes, a pandemic, a horrible virus eradicating the population and or killing most of the people. This is one of the possible doomsday scenarios, yes. Uh, the Maya concept was that just the the calendar will end, right? Uh-huh. Asteroid hitting the planet, a very popular doomsday scenario. Yes. Any other? Anybody can type their ideas. Uh-huh. Also, the sun exploding is a possible doomsday scenario. How about the little green man? Black hole that eats our galaxy. Yes, this as well. The 5G, okay. Yes, some people really see the 5G as a source, as a possible source of the end of the world. But I think that you, as students at the technical university, you're not that afraid of the 5G, are you? Pigeons are. Oh, do pigeons know about 5G? Oh, soon they will. Oh. Uh-huh. Okay, somebody was writing, was typing something, but they left. Okay, how about the little green man? How about aliens? Aren't we going to have anything from the aliens? Aren't they going to come and end the world as we know it? This is a very, very common topic when we speak of doomsday scenarios. Yeah, it's too cliche, but many doomsday scenarios are cliched. And how about there was a movie based on this idea, the Earth stopping to turn around. There was also this idea that the Earth can stop turning around, or how about some doomsday scenarios, including yeah, I know. By the way, it just went unnoticed in the middle of all the other things that are going on. But I was driving it. Some many doomsday scenarios include a horrible change in the weather and in the environment that leads to um, some catastrophic climate changes. For example, there was a uh, yeah, this is one way. This is one direction these were going, but also they were going in the opposite direction. And there is a movie that is called The Day After Tomorrow, which actually states the opposite. Not melting of the ice, but actually uh, too much cold, and the whole northern hemisphere being frozen. All the consequences, like for example, floods, flooding. There are also doomsday scenarios that include earthquakes and volcano eruptions. So there are many doomsday scenarios. Okay. Um, Traffic in cities may be gridlock. Gridlock, you have it explained. Genetic modification. Please pay attention that the Bulgarian is GMO, but the English is GM, genetically modified. We don't have the last word in English. In Bulgarian, we have genno modificiran organism, but in English, we don't have the organism bit. We just have a GM. Okay, what is the Bulgarian for genetic engineering? How would you translate into Bulgarian genetic engineering? There is a little catch here. That's why I'm asking. There is a little trick. Genno, exactly. Genno engineers too. Because in English it is genetic, and you can easily fall into this trap. Okay, how about gene therapy? Have you heard of gene therapy before? Gene therapy. Nope. Well, we have here a little explanation stating that gene therapy can be changing genes in order to prevent disease or disability. Basically, you probably know that during a pregnancy, women have to go for regular checkups, and at one stage, there is a serious checkup done, and also there is a genetic test done to establish whether the baby has any genetically inherited health issues, like, for example, the Down syndrome. So, the whole concept of gene therapy revolves around the possibility, if doctors find out that the baby has got some genetic disorder, some disease, they can treat the baby even before the baby is born, and they can change the genes so that when the baby is born, it is completely healthy. Well, this is still science fiction, but a lot of scientists have been investing a lot of money and a lot of time and effort to achieve this. And this is closely related to the other concept of the human genome. You know what is the human genome, right? What's human genome in Bulgarian? But what is this called in Bulgarian? It is funny. The question is a bit tricky. You expect something much more different or difficult, while actually what I'm driving it is човешки геном. We do have the same term, човешкият геном, which is, of course, наборът от гени на всеки човек. Mhm. Okay, and the last concept we have here in this handout is the are the concepts of designer babies and cloning. Designer babies are a concept that asserts that it is possible before a baby is conceived for parents to opt to choose certain features. Like, for example, both parents have brown hair and brown eyes, but they want a blue eyed baby. So they go to a doctor or to a genetic specialist and they say, we want a blue eyed blonde baby. And then the unborn baby, before it is implanted into the mother, is genetically modified. The fetus is genetically modified, and the genes are changed, and the baby finally is as its parents want it to be, blue-eyed or short or tall or less tall, whatever the parents design. This is why it is a designer. Uh, Actually, it is theirs, but they just the scientists can change only portions of the genes where this information is encoded, and it has the same facial features like the parents, but it has a different eye color or different hair color or different height. Because some people, some people are obsessed with blue eyes, for example, and since they don't have it in their family, they cannot expect to have a baby with blue eyes, so they go to a baby designer, so to say, and they ask for a blue-eyed baby. This hopefully is not reality yet, and it seems to be a completely unethical issue, and let's hope this doesn't happen. Okay, cloning, on the other hand, is something that has already happened. Have you heard of anything that has been cloned? Nope, really no. Okay, I'm going to show you somebody. Mice? No. Have you seen this face? Yeah, that's Dolly the sheep. Dolly the sheep, who was the first animal to be cloned. And actually, she lived for 7 years which I believe is a pretty good age for a sheep. I don't know what is the life expectancy of a sheep normally, but Dolly lived for 7 years. And actually, she proved that cloning of animals was possible. And there are a lot of science fiction movies and books that talk about human cloning being possible. That is making a genetically identical copy. Uh okay, but Gergyovden is in today. So if that's what you mean when you saw the sheep, okay. Now I'm going to send you the second handout where we have a little prediction about the possible development of society and people as it comes to the future. This was about environment and nature, now about society and people. Okay, who would like to read this? Anybody? Okay, I'll read it for you. The breakdown of the traditional family structure has already occurred in some countries. In future, the nuclear family may no longer be the main type of family unit, and more loosely defined relationships will develop. Communications and trade will be globalized. Globalization will also affect our relationships, how we mix and work with other people, and the world will become a global village. We may even make contact with extraterrestrial beings. The gulf between rich and poor nations will widen if we do not do something about it. Okay, this is the prediction about the future. Now, nuclear family. We have definitions of these concepts. A family with father, mother, and one or two children. This is the traditional family. Okay, globalized, we know what is something to be globalized and what is globalization. We know this from first-hand experience. Global village, are you familiar with the concept of the global village? Have you heard of the global village? Yes, no, partially, not really. Yes, okay. So the concept of the global village actually revolves around the idea that the whole world is like a small village and everybody can easily be connected with everybody else. A single community covering the whole world. That is the definition we have here. Okay, extraterrestrial beings, these are aliens, ET. And the gulf between rich and poor, the gulf meaning what? The gap, the difference. Okay, which of these are already manifested? Which of these predictions have already happened? They are no longer predictions, they are already reality. Which of these? Yeah, this unfortunately seems to be already happening. The gap between richer and poorer countries, the gulf becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, the global village is something that, well, we can experience it in the past 2 months very sharply. We live in a global village. Look at the speed with which a virus spread around the world. It took it only a few weeks and it was already everywhere in the world. This means that we live in a global village. Okay, how about the nuclear family? What about it? Do you think that traditional family is over? Types of families? Traditional family done. My dear, probably right. You're probably right that we're headed towards this, towards the breakup of the nuclear family. And by the way, I think that what they mean by this is also some very, yes, LGBT, yes, some very untraditional families, like a family of two mothers, or of, okay, let's say two women or two men, and also some exotic ideas like a family of two parents and children who belong to the one parent and other children who belong to the other, and some children that belong to both parents and some other relatives and so on. So yes, maybe traditional family is a bit shaken. So, okay, maybe out of all these concepts, we cannot be absolutely sure about the meeting with the extraterrestrials. There are so many speculations on the topic. We cannot be absolutely sure, though. But this seems to be the only thing that is not manifestedly happening. Okay, now I'm sending you the third handout where we're going to exercise some of these concepts, some of this vocabulary. Okay, in the first exercise, you have to produce a common collocation. That is to decide which word from the one column can be combined in a steady combination with a word from the second column. Remember, collocation, a steady combination of words. Okay, so what did we have? Gridlocked what? Gridlock traffic. That's right. Genetic, Genetic modification. That's correct. Human, the human genome. Yes. Virtual reality. Yes. And finally, global village. Yes. Okay. Now, in the second bit, what do we call the following things? What do we call food which has been grown by interfering with plant genes? A GM food. Yes, we call this GM food. Genetically modified. It's genetically modified. GM stands for genetically modified. Not just food. No, for anything that is genetically modified. Okay, genetically modified. Okay, what do we call an identity card that holds every possible kind of personal information about you? This is not what you have in your wallet or in your pocket, not that kind of identity card. This identity card holds only your name, um, citizen number, address, height, color of eyes, but there are, or there's supposed to be, identity cards that can hold much more information, like, for example, your health status and so on and so on. So, what is this card? No, this is not the human genome. This is a kind of identity card. What kind of identity card is this? It's like let's say a mini TV of you. It's got everything in it. Oh no, this is not an identity card. Your DNA is something biological. No, okay. I am going to you surrender. Okay, I'm going to help you. This is a actually smart ID card. Smart ID card. It's like in smart watches and smartphones and everything. It's a smart ID card, and it contains tons of information about yourself. You know what is an identity card, don't you? Лична карта. So smart identity card is something actually that is in the making already. They're already trying to introduce the so-called biometrical ID cards. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this concept? Uh-huh. So biometrical ID cards are actually smart ID cards, and they contain a lot of information about your health status and about your inoculations and so on. Do you know what is an inoculation, by the way? Have you come across this word before? Inoculation is another word for vaccination. That is immunizacja. So such biometrical ID cards contain information about inoculations, about vaccinations. Have you heard about Bill Gates' vaccine program and his suggestions? Oh, not only this one, but yes, about this one as well. Which one is a scam? That he's financing vaccine research. This is official. This is not a scam. He is investing money in research into coronavirus vaccine. This is a fact. But also there is a serious um, well, this is already in the conspiracy theory department. Uh, Actually, what he suggests is that people, yeah, that's a different story. But there is a suggestion that people get a kind of microchip that is inserted somewhere under their skin so that it's easier for health authorities to read the information about their vaccinations. And this is a real suggestion by Bill Gates. And many people jumped because of this, because it seems like, what is in the some of the worst doomsday scenarios when people get chipped like pets, because you can chip your pet now. Okay, back to the exercise. The experience of near reality you get with certain computer programs. This is called what? Near reality. Virtual reality. That's VR. Yes, this is VR. Okay. An extract genetic copy of something. An exact genetic copy of something. Sorry. An exact genetic copy of something. About what they ask about is a clone, actually. A clone, an exact genetic copy of something. Okay, creatures from other planets. These are ETs. Yes, ETs, extraterrestrials. That's right. The process of altering human and animal genes. Process of altering human and animal genes. Genetic modification. That's right. Or GM. Okay. The process of treating defective genes to get rid of diseases. Mm, actually, they mean gene therapy. They mean gene therapy here. Yep, exactly. Gene therapy. Okay, and a baby whose genetic features have been chosen by its parents was called a what baby? Designer baby. Remember these designer babies? Yes, this is a designer baby. Okay. Now the third exercise. We have four sentences and we have an expression that is underlined. What expression can we replace it with? The worst possible prediction for human society is that we will destroy ourselves with nuclear weapons. What can we replace the phrase worst possible prediction with? Doomsday scenario. The doomsday scenario is that we will destroy. Okay, traveling to other planets may become normal in the coming centuries. What can we replace traveling to other planets with? Interplanetary travel, yes, that's correct. Doing business via a computer will become more and more normal. What can we replace doing business via a computer with? E commerce, that's right, e commerce. Okay, and finally, the team of scientists is doing research into the index of all the genes in a human being. The index of all the genes in a human being, the human genome. Okay, now I'm sending you the last handout for the day with the last two exercises. Okay, here we go. Okay, in the first one, we have six sentences. Now, what words or phrases, what concepts do we associate them with? These tomatoes will stay fresh for several months. What do we associate this with? GM, that's right. Now Stanisław was faster. To have a balance in the competition. Okay. A typical family is often said to consist of husband, wife, and 2.4 children. I really love statistics. 2.4 children. What concept do we associate this with? Nuclear family. Bingo. Great. This sheep is identical in absolutely every respect to the sheep standing next to it. Cloning or a clone? Great. Great, great, great job. Actually, uh, We are reproducing what we used to have in real classes. You two doing most of the job, but with one exception, Lubomir is not at all taking part, while in real classes he would also take parts. You're not what? You're not taking part. But you're listening, you're following. You're not sleeping, okay? I didn't say you were. I just said that you were not as active as in real classes. Okay. Doctors will be able to cure most diseases within the next 100 years. What do we associate this with? Hearing? No, this is the therapy thing. This is the gene therapy thing. Yep, exactly. Okay. The world is becoming a very small place in terms of economics and communication concept. That's correct. Soon, you'll be able to decide what you watch and when you watch it on TV. Interactive TV. Yes, that's interactive TV. Or you can call it smart TV, I guess. We didn't have this uh, concept mentioned, but I believe we can use it. Okay, now last thing for today. There are four, uh, let's say, ideas or projects, and one of them is not really happening. Can you guess which one? The three others are actual projects. Can you guess which of the four projects is not real, is not really happening? Okay, one vote for one. I'm expecting more votes. Let's vote. Everybody, give your vote for one of the three. Another one for one. Oh, another for one. We've got three votes for one. One vote for two. One more vote for two. So far, we've got three votes for one and two votes for two. Anybody else to give their vote? Okay. First one, the Canadian businessman developing a way of breaking up and melting Arctic icebergs so that he can sell very pure mineral water. It is true. It is really happening. And it's not only him, but there are other businessmen doing the same thing, selling Arctic ice water. The Russian scientists wanting to put a vast mirror into orbit that will be half as bright as the moon to light up dark parts of the earth, for example, Siberia in winter. Well, it's not a fact, but it's a project. in the making. So this one is true too. The Russians are developing such a project. As crazy as it may sound, small, low lying islands in Florida will be raised on huge metal stilts to protect them from rising sea levels due to global warming. And the last one being computer scientists are developing fully functioning computers that can be worn on the wrist like a watch. Which of the two? Of course, it's three. Four is already something that is uh, on the market. Many people have such watches already. So it is, yes. What is the meaning of the word stilt, by the way? Do you know? What are these stilts? What is stilts? Uh huh, exactly. Kukili. So this is the only thing that is not in the making. Putting islands on huge metal stilts. And actually, we have here we have the answer in the picture. The picture they have given us is the correct answer. Okay, okie dokie people. As I told you, um, окей, както ви казах, имаме да компенсираме само едно занятие, така че смятаме, че сме го направили. Благодаря ви много за това, че си отделихте от времето да свършим тази работа и утре рано-рано ще се видим отново, като имате това нещо, което ви изпратих в PDF, това учебниче. Там в този 6 юнит, в който бяхме започнали да работим, има една статия, която се пада точно на следващата страница, след тази, по която сме работили. Сега ще ви кажа точно коя е страницата в PDF формата. Тази статия трябва да сте я приготвили, да сте я прочели за утре. Секунда, ще ми отнема време да ви кажа. Ма, вие ще я видите, тя е, мисля, че беше 48-ма. Коя страницата? Във всеки случай тя се казва Web 2.0. Това е статията, която Real Change or Hype. Трябва да сте я прочели нея. Това ще ни трябва за утре. Утре ще тръгнем от нея.
Ние направихме ли нещо такова вече или аз се бъркам?
Тази статия ли? Не, тази не сме я чели още. Не е официално. Вие може да сте си изчели. Ние говорихме за нещата, които бяха малко преди нея. Точно статия не сме я чели. Окей. Значи Web 2.0. Това е това, което трябва да прочетете. А другите неща, които ще ги правим, аз ще ви ги дам на място. Те ще са свързани. Това е текстът за четене за утре. Okay, so thank you very much for attending today and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great evening. Bye.